Welcome to the weekly e-commerce and retail roundup.
These are some of the stories that caught Greg Zokowich's attention this week.
Zocko H. Witz. Yeah, let's dive right in.
Okay, first up, we've got Beyond Inc. That's the parent company for, Overstock, BuyBuy Baby, Bed Bath & Beyond.
Right.
And they're making a pretty interesting move into physical retail.
Oh, really? Like opening stores again?
Sort of. They're planning to open at least 4 Overstock stores. But the interesting part is why.
Okay.
It's strategic. They're picking locations specifically to make shipping and returns more efficient.
So it's less about just having stores and more about the logistics and the finances.
Improving margins.
Exactly. It's about making the whole operation work better financially. And it ties into BuyBuy Baby, too.
Which they just bought, right? The name, anyway.
Yeah, they got the global rights for, $5 million back in February. So now they're opening a, quote, test BuyBuy Baby store. Looks like Nashville.
A test store, so dipping their toes back in.
Right. And they're also doing this deal with Kirkland's. Okay, Kirkland's home.
Yeah. Kirkland's is going to be the exclusive operator for these smaller kind of neighborhood Bed Bath & Beyond stores.
So Beyond Inc. isn't running those directly.
Yeah.
Kirkland's is.
Correct. It's a way to get that Bed Bath & Beyond brand back out there, but with low capital spending for Beyond Inc.
Smart. Leveraging Kirkland's footprint.
Totally. And this new Bed Bath & Beyond home format run by Kirkland's, it'll apparently look a lot like Kirkland's stores.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on, online bestsellers, small furniture, textiles, decor.
So different from the old Bed Bath & Beyond focus on, bedding and bathrooms.
Yeah, different vibe. But Beyond Inc. is really stressing this isn't some huge commitment to, tons of new stores.
Okay.
They're saying their priority is still tech, customer experience, maybe even some blockchain stuff.
Blockchain, okay.
Yeah, and picking up other relevant IP. They seem to see Kirkland's as the way to give any brands they acquire a physical presence without massive investment.
Got it. Very calculated. Okay, moving on. Amazon Prime Day. It's usually huge, but it sounds like there's some headwinds this year. Tariffs.
That's a big story, yeah. Those increased U.S.-China tariffs, jumping up to 145% on some goods. It's really making third-party sellers, especially those manufacturing in China, think twice about Prime Day.
How so? Like pulling back on deals?
Exactly. Many are planning to reduce their participation or even skip it altogether. It's about protecting their profit margins.
Makes sense. If costs go way up.
Right. There's this example, Steve Green, he sells bikes and skateboards. He's actually sitting out Prime Day for the first time since 2020.
Wow, why?
He wants to hold on to his inventory that he got before the tariffs hit. Doesn't want to sell it cheap on Prime Day when replacing it will cost way more.
That's a tough calculation.
It is. And another seller, Michael Slate, Home Goods, he just said he can't offer the usual deep discounts because he has no idea what his future product costs will be.
Uncertainty is killer for planning these promotions.
Definitely. And then you have Kim Vaccarella, Bog Bag. They actually halted production in China completely, moved it to Cambodia and Vietnam. And they're bypassing Prime Day, too, focusing on selling through other retailers like Macy's.
So these tariffs are actively reshaping supply chains, not just affecting pricing.
It looks that way. Now, analysts think Amazon itself will probably be, fine, but it's the third-party sellers who are really going to feel the pain here.
Amazon says sellers are responding strongly, though.
Amazon's spokesperson said they're seeing a strong response. Yeah, but the deadline to participate was May 23rd, so the full picture might still be emerging.
Historically, Prime Day is huge for sales, but margins are tight anyway.
Super tight, like 15-20% average for these sellers. Add tariffs plus Amazon's commissions and promotion fees. The math gets really hard.
So if sellers pull back, what does that mean for us shoppers? Fewer deals, less selection.
That's the potential fallout, yeah. Less selection, maybe fewer of those really deep discounts. And it could also hit Amazon's revenue from fees and ads.
Even though U.S. shoppers spent, over $14 billion last Prime Day?
Yeah, $14.2 billion, up 11% year over year. But that success relies on sellers participating fully.
Are sellers doing anything else besides skipping it?
Some are raising prices, others are cutting back on ad spend or trying different import strategies. Even Amazon's CEO, Andy Jassy, mentioned they're doing strategic forward inventory buys, and talking to suppliers.
Trying to manage the impact.
Right, and they're surveying sellers about the tariff effects, too. It's a big deal when, third-party sellers made up almost 62% of units sold in the last quarter of 2024.
Huge chunk of their business.
Massive. One consultant, John Elder, he said, nearly all my clients are pulling back in Prime Day deals. So it seems widespread.
Okay, so it's not just general Amazon sellers. This tariff situation is hitting specific industries hard, too.
Yeah.
Like toys.
Yeah, the toys and hobby sector is particularly vulnerable. It's pretty stark. 77% of toys sold in the U.S. are imported from China.
77%. Wow, so they're right in the crosshairs of that 145% tariff.
Directly. And the Toy Association did a survey in April, and, well, the results are concerning.
What did they find?
A huge majority of mid-size and small toy companies have delayed orders. We're talking 87% of mid-size, 81% of small ones.
Just delaying or canceling.
Both. About 80% of mid-size and 64% of small companies are actually canceling existing orders.
That sounds serious.
Yeah.
Like existentially serious.
It could be. The survey found nearly half, 45% of midsize, 46% of small fear they might go out of business within weeks or months because of these tariffs.
Weeks or months. That's incredibly fast.
It really puts the pressure on. And you're even seeing unexpected voices chime in. GameStop's CEO, Ryan Cohen.
He's a Trump supporter generally, right?
Yeah, but he tweeted back in April something like, these tariffs are turning me into a Dem.
Wow, because GameStop's getting hit too.
Apparently. They were impacted by delays related to the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders linked to tariff assessments. GameStop is #1 in toys and hobbies in the top 2,000 rankings.
And it's not just retailers. What about big brands like Disney? They sell a lot of toys.
Disney's CEO, Bob Iger, also spoke out around the same time. He basically said moving manufacturing out of Asia to the U.S. quickly is really difficult.
Yeah, I bet.
And he also mentioned that he thinks most people don't really understand how tariffs work and their full impact. Disney is #4 in toys and hobbies, so they stand to lose too.
So the outlook for toys, which maybe had been okay, is now pretty cloudy because of this.
Seems that way. Digital Commerce 360 had initially projected growth for the sector in 2026, but these tariffs put that whole forecast at risk. Online toy sales growth had slowed since the big 2020 peak, but it was still growing. Unlike some other categories hit by tariffs earlier now, it's a big question mark.
And these tariffs, we're actually seeing them show up directly for consumers now, right? Like with Temu.
Exactly. That's the next piece. Temu, the platform famous for super low prices, often shipping directly from China.
Yeah.
Well, now U.S. customers are getting hit with pretty steep import fees at checkout, explicitly because of these tariffs.
So the price you see isn't the final price anymore.
Not necessarily. There was an example of some athletic shorts listed at $23.61, but then there was a $32.75 of import charge added.
Whoa. That more than doubles the price, from $23 to over $56.
Precisely. Temu now has a notice at checkout saying items imported might be subject to these charges. It completely changes the appeal of those initial low prices.
That's some serious sticker shock.
It really is. And what's also kind of weird is that sometimes items shipping from within the U.S. but still made in China might have a higher base price but no added fee compared to a similar item shipping from China with the fee.
Huh. So it's complicated.
Yeah, like a blender shipped from the U.S. was $34.19, no fee. A similar one from China was $5.94 plus an $8.18 fee. Still cheaper overall, maybe, but less dramatically so.
And Temu's highlighting the U.S. shipped stuff.
It seems like it. They're labeling them local, and they often pop up first in search results for U.S. users, probably trying to make things seem less expensive or faster.
Meanwhile, the official line is, it's up to China.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent basically said de-escalation is up to Beijing. And some analysts at Barclays are calling the tariff situation almost like a trade embargo on both sides. Goods getting stuck or rerouted.
And shoppers are noticing?
Oh, yeah. People are definitely posting online, frustrated about these big, unexpected import fees from Temu. And it's not just Temu. Shein also notified customers about price adjustments starting back in late April, citing tariff costs.
Interesting that TikTok Shop isn't mentioned there. Are they not affected?
So far, it seems TikTok Shop isn't facing these same import fees. That could give them a real edge if this continues.
Okay, wow. Lots happening with tariffs. Let's shift gears completely. Story 5 is about AI shopping. Visa and Mastercard.
Yeah, this is looking towards the future of how we might buy things. Visa announced something called intelligent commerce.
Okay, what's that?
The idea is you could have AI agents, think sophisticated chatbots or assistants that can actually shop for you. You set preferences, limits, maybe a budget.
And the AI goes out and makes the purchase.
That's the goal. Visa handles the payment side securely. They're working with big names in AI, Anthropic, IBM, Microsoft, OpenAI to build this out.
So less browsing, more instructing.
Potentially, yeah. And Mastercard's doing something similar with Agent Pay. Their focus is more on integrating payments into AI recommendations you might get on conversational platforms.
Like if you ask an AI for outfit ideas.
Exactly. The AI could suggest things, curate an outfit for, say, a birthday party, and then you could just tell it to buy the items. And Agent Pay handles the transactions seamlessly.
Okay, they're working with partners too.
Yep, Microsoft, IBM again, but also payment platforms like Braintree and Checkout.com.
So the big payment networks are really betting on AI assistants becoming part of shopping.
It certainly looks that way. And they're not alone. PayPal also announced its own agentic commerce offering.
Agentic commerce, okay.
And Amazon is reportedly testing its own AI shopping agent called Buy For Me. Even OpenAI just updated ChatGPT search to make online shopping better through its platform.
It feels like this could be a really fundamental shift in how we discover and buy products online.
It really could. We're moving towards a world where AI might not just help you find things, but actually execute the entire purchase based on your needs and preferences. Convenience and personalization taken to a whole new level, perhaps.
So wrapping this all up, what does this all mean for you listening in, trying to navigate this constantly changing world of e-commerce and retail?
Well, we've definitely seen how big economic forces like these tariffs can ripple all the way down from manufacturers right into your digital shopping cart.
Yeah, forcing businesses to completely rethink strategies, maybe changing prices, maybe changing what's even available.
Right. And at the exact same time, you've got this huge technological shift happening with AI-powered shopping, promising, incredible convenience and personalization down the road.
It's a really fascinating mix, isn't it? Global economics clashing or maybe merging with tech innovation.
Absolutely. And if you want to dive deeper into any of these stories or just read Greg's take on the week's top headlines in general,
you should head over to www.gregzakowicz.com. That's ZAKOWICZ.com.
Yep. And you can also follow him on Blue Sky for more ongoing insights and discussion.
Definitely worth considering how these shifts, the tariffs, the AI might affect your own shopping habits, and just the whole future of how we find and buy things.